Today, we are going to find out what, if anything, God's written word says about the country of Israel and its origins. Words are very important. Genesis chapter 12 verse 1 says, Now the Lord said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. To clear up any confusion for those that don't already know, God changed Abram's name from Abram to Abraham in the book of Genesis chapter 17 verse 5. Neither shall thy name any more be called Abram, but thy name shall be Abraham, for a father of many nations have I made thee. Now you have to understand that our God, Jesus Christ, separated Abram at the age of 75 from his home country. He separated Abram from his family. He separated Abram from his father's house. And he sent Abram into a land which was unknown to Abram at the time, the land of Canaan, a land which our God later called Jerusalem, not Israel. And God didn't just determine where Abraham was going to live. He determined where everyone was going to live according to God's written word. Acts chapter 17 verse 26, And hath made of one blood all nations of men for to dwell on all the face of the earth, and hath determined the times before appointed, and the bounds of their habitation. So this is all men, not just Abraham. Nowhere in the Bible will you find that God says to bless a country called Israel. The kingdom of Israel is the place named in the written word of God, which is synonymous or interchangeable with the city of Jerusalem, the holy city, the city of David, Mount Zion, and for the land of Israel as a whole. They are all the same place. 1 Samuel chapter 24 verse 20 says, And now behold, I know well that thou shalt surely be king, and that the kingdom of Israel shall be established in thine hand. That's King David's hand. 2 Chronicles chapter 6 verse 6 says, But I have chosen Jerusalem that my name might be there, and have chosen David to be over my people Israel. In this, we can clearly see that Israel is a people, not a country. 1 Kings chapter 8 verse 1, Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel, and all the heads of the tribes, the chief of the fathers of the children of Israel, unto King Solomon in Jerusalem, that they might bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is Zion. Deuteronomy 32:8, When the Most High divided to the nations their inheritance, when he separated the sons of Adam, he set the bounds of the people according to the number of the children of Israel. And Deuteronomy 32:9 says, For the Lord's portion is his people, Jacob, which is Israel, is the lot of his inheritance. The house of Israel is in the written word of God 146 times. The land of Israel is in the written word of God 31 times. The kingdom of Israel is in the written word of God 3 times. My people Israel is in the written word of God 28 times. The children of Israel is in the written word of God 603 times. Israel is in the written word of God 2,568 times. But you will never find the country of Israel or the state of Israel in the written word of God. The country of Israel was created not by God, nor by his command, but by the command of men in order to confuse the masses through the Balfour Declaration. The Word of God says in Acts 5:29b, we ought to obey God rather than men. Isaiah 5:20, Woe unto them that call evil good, and good evil, that put darkness for light, and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. This is a copy of the infamous Balfour Declaration. Foreign Office, November 2nd, 1917. Dear Lord Rothschild, I have much pleasure in conveying to you, on behalf of His Majesty's government, the following declaration of sympathy with Jewish Zionist aspirations, which has been submitted to and approved by the Cabinet. His Majesty's government view with favor the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, and will use their best endeavors to facilitate the achievement of this object, it being clearly understood that nothing shall be done which may prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine, or the rights and political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. I should be grateful if you would bring this declaration to the knowledge of the Zionist Federation. Sincerely, Arthur Balfour. Then this newspaper article confirms Palestine for the Jews official sympathy. Mr. Balfour has sent the following letter to Lord Rothschild in regard to the establishment of a national home in Palestine for the Jewish people. And then it parrots the letter I just read. These are the commandments of men, not of God. Titus chapter 1 verse 14. Not giving heed to Jewish fables and commandments of men that turn from the truth. The synagogue of Satan created the country of Israel. God's written word is true. His well-established plan will never change. Revelation chapter 2 verse 9. I know thy works, and tribulation, and poverty, but thou art rich. And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. It is evident through reading God's written word that God named us all. Remember, he wrote our names in the book of life before the foundation of the world. Revelation 13:8b, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. Revelation 17:8b, whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world. Isaiah 49:1. Listen, O isles, unto me, and hearken, you people from far. The Lord hath called me from the womb. From the bowels of my mother hath he made mention of my name. Further evidence being that the Word of God says that he made mention of my name from the womb, then it is evident that God named each and every one of us. They didn't always have a way to detect the gender of a baby. With that said, you can't change what God ordained. But the synagogue of Satan did on paper only, not in truth, but to deceive the masses into believing that they are true Jews. Hence the synagogue of Satan, mocking Jesus, of course. Rothschild is a Jewish name, however, not everything is as it seems. The descendants of Mayer Amschel Rothschild are the wealthiest family in the world. Their surname was changed from Rothschild to Rothschild. They are not of Jewish descent. The surname Balfour was adopted as a Jewish name in the 20th century in commemoration of the Balfour Declaration of November 2, 1917, in which the British Foreign Secretary Arthur James Balfour pledged support for the establishment of a Jewish homeland in Palestine. Jeremiah chapter 30 verse 3. For lo, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will bring again the captivity of my people Israel and Judah, saith the Lord, and I will cause them to return to the land that I gave to their fathers, and they shall possess it. God's written word says, I, God, Jesus Christ, will bring them, and I, God, Jesus Christ, will cause them to possess the land. Jesus doesn't change. He did not change his plan. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 8 says, Jesus Christ the same, yesterday and today and forever. God did allow this because it's part of the mystery of iniquity. God's written word clearly says that our God, Jesus Christ, will in the future bring it to pass in that day. Again, man can't change what God ordained. Isaiah chapter 11 verses 11 and 12. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, and from Egypt, and from Pathros, and from Cush, and from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. And he shall set up an ensign for the nations, and shall assemble the outcasts of Israel, and gather together the dispersed of Judah from the four corners of the earth. Again, the Israel of God is a people, not a country or a state. Israel was born with the name Jacob. Genesis chapter 35:10. And God said unto him, Thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall be thy name. And he called his name Israel. In Genesis chapter 15 verse 18, God tells Abram the boundaries and location of the land that God ordained as the land of Israel. Genesis chapter 15 verse 18. In the same day that the Lord made a covenant with Abram, saying, Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Described by Moses in Exodus chapter 23 verse 31. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land unto your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Then further described by Joshua in Joshua chapter 1 verse 4, from the wilderness and this Lebanon even unto the great river, the river Euphrates, all the land of the Hittites, and unto the great sea toward the going down of the sun shall be your coast. Joshua chapter 1 verse 6. Be strong and of good courage, for unto this people shalt thou divide for an inheritance the land which I swear unto their fathers to give them. So with this understanding, let's go back to Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 8. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abram departed, as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And into the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram, and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. The written word of God tells us in Psalms chapter 122, verse 6, Pray for the peace of Jerusalem, they shall prosper that love thee. Nowhere in God's written word will you find, Pray for the peace of the country Israel. Now we will address the flag of this unbiblical country that the synagogue of Satan has created. But first things first, they say that the image on the flag is the Star of David. That is a lie from the pits of hell. King David was a man after God's own heart. Acts 13:22 says, And when he had removed him, he raised up unto them David to be their king, to whom also he gave testimony and said, I have found David, the son of Jesse, a man after mine own heart, which shall fulfill all my will. King David was a man after God's own heart, but his son, King Solomon, was a man after Satan's heart. 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 6 says, And Solomon said, Thou hast showed unto thy servant David, my father, great mercy, according as he walked before thee in truth, and in righteousness, and in uprightness of heart with thee. And thou hast kept him for this great kindness, that thou hast given him a son to sit on his throne, as it is this day. The supposed Star of David is commonly known around the world as the Seal of Solomon. The written word of God refers to it as the Star of your God in the Old Testament and the Star of your God Remphan in the New Testament. Amos chapter 5 verse 26. But you have borne the tabernacle of your Moloch and Chiun, your images, the star of your God, which you made to yourselves. And then Acts chapter 7 verse 43. Yea, you took up the tabernacle of Moloch, the star of your God Remphan, figures which you made to worship them, and I will carry you away beyond Babylon. The seal of Solomon is the symbol of the synagogue of Satan. This is not the Star of David, nor is it God's symbol for the Jews. His symbol is clearly laid out in the written word of God. God's symbol for the Jews are the 7 golden candlesticks. This is confirmed in Exodus chapter 25, verses 31 through 40. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And the 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick out of one side, and 3 branches of the candlestick out of the other side. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knop and a flower in one branch, and 3 bowls made like almonds in the other branch, with a knop and a flower, so in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. And in the candlestick shall be 4 bowls, made like unto almonds, with their knops and their flowers. And there shall be a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, and a knop under 2 branches of the same, according to the 6 branches that proceed out of the candlestick. Their knops and their branches shall be of the same, and it shall be one beaten work of pure gold. And thou shalt make the 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they might give light over against it. And the tongs thereof, and the snuff dishes thereof, shall be of pure gold. And of a talent of pure gold shall he make it with all these vessels. And the look that thou make them after their pattern, which was showed thee in the mount. Now that you're armed with these truths about Israel, you can share the truth with other people rather than perpetuating a lie. And remember, if you stand with Israel the country, you stand with the synagogue of Satan. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a blessed day.